consistently attract soulmate clients, begin showing up on brand, monetizing on your calling. Welcome all spiritual coaches, leaders, healers, light workers, and practitioners to a show that turns you on in your business and amplifies your magnetism. I'm host, catalyst, and spiritual business coach Rosalind Fung, and I'm here to journey with you into the juicy and help you discover where the real gaps are. Ignite your mindset and soul with strategies and systems as each episode takes you to the sweet spot that activates your Soulgasmic business. Enjoy this light language activation as we begin to magnetize and monetize. Have you ever thought about having your very own commercial to transform your business? You guys, recently I was having a session with my own podcast prosperity coach, Lisa Barrie, which was about how to monetize from having your very own commercial. And since this is a world I don't know very much about, well, let's face it, pretty much nothing at all, I never really thought about having my own commercial before. And instead of keeping all the juicy info about commercials to myself, I wanted to bring Lisa onto my podcast so that you may also learn about the opportunities and benefits, learning what you don't know about different ways and how to really put your business out there. And it's another awesome avenue to consider in creating impacts, influence, and income that you, like myself, may not have ever considered before. So, of course, on my very own podcast platform, OmTimes Radio, which gets exposure to over 500,000 new visitors each month on just this platform alone. I know, are you letting that number sink in? Not to mention the various podcast platforms my own podcast is hosted on, such as Apple iTunes, Spreaker, Spotify, just to name a few. I am looking for the right people to partner with me as an advertiser on my show and how this can energetically and powerfully transform your business. So as you listen, if this episode speaks to you and you feel called to apply for a commercial spot on my podcast, I will share how you can at the end and in the show notes. Okay, who are we kidding? I can't wait. So if you are interested, you can apply by emailing Rosalyn, ROSALYN, at RosalynFung, that's FUNG.com, and put in the subject's heading commercial. All right, so without further ado, let's introduce my special guest. Lisa Barrie is an expert in breathing life into the dreams of authors and podcasters who want to express their stories and messages vibrantly and energetically through being interviewed and interviewing. A #1 best-selling author, she is also a successful international radio show host and podcaster. As a writer, Lisa draws on her own experience to create short stories that she offers up to her readers as coachable moments in the hopes of making an uplifting and life-affirming connection with them, whatever their circumstances. As a host, she creates space for conscious conversations that are broadcasted globally, which promotes worldwide holistic happiness and connection. And you guys, she really brings on happiness energy at that next level. She also coaches other show hosts on how to deliver exceptional experiences to their audience by helping them produce individual podcast episodes as well as entire series under the podcast Prosperity Mentorship Program. And I am one of her walking testimonials. It has been and continues to be such a pleasure to work with Lisa as my coach. Using wellness for all as her guiding star, Lisa's life passion is to find, help, and connect with those who need and want to shine.
Woohoo! Yay! Hello, Roslyn. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for creating the idea for this show. You're like, hey, if I need help, others need help. And I'm so happy to be here.
Absolutely. I'm like, I'm not keeping this goodie to myself. This is amazing. Wow. Well, why don't we start with what the heck is a commercial? Because I think all of us either have like I hate commercials to I freaking love commercials. And there really isn't any in between. So if I can get you to define what a commercial is, and then we can talk a little bit more about how we can actually create a commercial that transforms your business.
Yes, because they are magical. They are such incredible tools. And if anybody listening right now goes, oh my gosh, no, commercials are an interruption. They are just trying to sell me something. You guys, I bet you by the end of this show, you'll literally be turned around to thinking, wait a second, if a show, right, whatever kind of show or the program that you're watching has a commercial, if they've done a good job and they've aligned with the right business, you will I'm obsessed with commercials. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to hear what commercial is coming out next because it's going to be so perfect for me. It's going to hold a solution. It's going to have a story. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to help me with something. And I look forward to 30 seconds of solutions, snapping out all over the place.
Woo! Yeah, I know, Lisa, you are a master at helping people create commercials. And with a commercial, how does having your very own commercial for your business transform one's business?
Okay. All right. So yes, I absolutely love them. And I'll share my story of my very, very first commercial I ever did back in 1999. But before I go into that, a commercial really is, I know they're saying, yeah, they're just trying to sell me something. Yes, they are. It's an offer. Yes, and it's a beautiful offer. People have pulled together what they would like to offer to people to let them know that what they have, they believe will better your life. Yes, on their end, of course, it's something that they have that they're trying to sell, and that they want to invite you to be a part of. They're going to we all need to make money. I mean, that's just what happens. So if we can take that out, I love that in the beginning you said somewhere about investing in a commercial. We often think, oh, well, how much does it cost to air a commercial, to put a commercial together? But the question really, really should be, how much business can I generate from my commercial being out there? It's a loudspeaker and a big shiny lighthouse to say, I'm here and I have this awesome, great opportunity. Now, if it's not for you, it's not for you, but hopefully I can entertain you in some way by my commercial. It's such an opportunity to connect with people and let them decide, is it a yes or is it a no? You may hate something. I love, on my shows, when my commercials show up, I have a favorite cat commercial that comes up in my podcast. And it makes me happy because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, do you know how many people are listening right now and learning or being reminded that there's an opportunity to adopt a cat or a dog or something. So I'm thankful for commercials, and I think that's why I love them. And they're short stories about your business. They're short stories about something that you have that could transform their lives in some. It could be a simple, oh my gosh, it could be I don't even know, a razor to shave your legs. That's really awesome. I don't know. I probably need to shave my legs. That's why I said that. But, but right now I would need that. I'm like, I really need a good razor. And so the things that we're thinking, I do believe in that law of attraction, what we're thinking about and what we're looking for, something that we need. And generally the commercials that that show up is something that's showing up in our lives because we need it. We're asking for transformation. We're asking for a solution. And so I think that, we'll get into the science of it, but start placing your commercial with the right business that already has an audience who, they're already chatting with, they have their attention, is so key. And yeah, we'll go into that one, but I have to share my quick story about my first commercial ever. I had a spa when I don't remember, it was when I was around 20 years old or something. And I thought, how do I tell people that I have this silky self spa and I want people to come to me for these manicures and pedicures and makeup?
That is amazing. And I'm also not surprised that you had a spa at 20 years old.
Well, I thought if I'm going to spend time doing it on myself, then I have to do this for others. And so I graduated. I was getting clients, but I was like, I want to blow my business up. I want a full business. I want my practice I want to be practicing. I want it to be busy. So I thought, okay, right. Advertising. I could put a flyer in a paper. People can read it. I can, because there was no Facebook then. And I thought radio. I listened to the radio all the time, and so I listened to country music then. And I called up the local country station, and I asked them, like, I want to have my own commercial. How does this work? And I knew it was it was my local, so it was my audience. I like the music, so I figured that's a good way of listening to the topic, what they're airing. And when my first commercial came out and they gave me my demo on cassette tape, I was so proud. I was so, you're just proud of your commercial. And there's something that happens just in the energetic holding of space for your business where you say, I have a commercial. I'm letting people know. I'm not, I'm proud and I want to share it with people and I want to get excited about having your commercial, get people to listen to it and pass it around. It's like, and when you're sharing. So that's my fun background. That's what I
energetically is so exciting. Having your very own, it feels like official, right? Just like when you incorporate your business, when you get certified in something, it's like something feels official. When you get a website, when you have all these different aspects to your business that make it official. And I can see that a commercial would be one way to really feel official.
Yes, I love that. It is official. And then it elevates. It elevates the vibration, the love for it, the connection. And also it makes me feel like, it's kind of funny to say this, but it makes you feel like you have a friend telling other people about your business. So,
absolutely. And the reach that it would have versus just word of mouth, right? The reach would be incredible, powerful. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, what I love about commercials, literally think about, we just look into our own experience. When I hear a commercial, I hear it many times, and I love that I hear it many times because I hear it differently and it kicks in. Sometimes it's like a song, so I'll have a memory of it. You know what I mean? Like it gets stuck in your head and then you keep rolling it around, or you start mimicking it or saying the words, or you start, let's say I heard a commercial. I'm using the cat commercial again. And I just learned that somebody was looking to adopt a cat. And I'm like, oh, I knew it, but I just know that they do. But when I hear that commercial, now I become a referral. So by having a commercial out there, you are not just reaching the listeners' ears. You're reaching their hearts, and it's allowing them to become a referral. Hey, did you hear that commercial? Or that commercial. Mm-hmm. It's also a place where they can refer to. I feel like a commercial is a place that, I'm trying to make it more tangible. It's like a feeling where you can literally relate and go, did you hear that commercial? Or you could pass it around. Like, gosh, it does elevate and transforms that part of that business, the message delivery system.
Beautiful. And so I just want to circle back. What happened when you put out a commercial to advertise your spa?
Oh my gosh, that was so fun. Well, the neat thing is because I can't wait. This is going to be exciting to get into the science of the relationships. So because I had chosen a country station, there was a country bar that I would go do line dancing and go line dancing there. Well, this is so funny. It kind of made me into a commercial celebrity because when I would go there, I now knew the audience. I was getting to interact with the audience that listened to their music, and now I'm dancing with these people. I'm laughing and checking out the bands, and it became almost more like a group, and they said, "Oh my gosh, I heard your commercial," or I might say, "Oh, you might have heard my commercial." It's something, again, to connect and to relate with people. So my business really increased because it was everybody going, "Oh yeah." They could now point to me, when they saw me there, or they could come and talk with me, or they could refer their friend, or they could show like, "Oh, look at the manicure Lisa did," and they could it became layered, like multi-dimensional. So my business really took on. It had like this relationship factor because of my commercial. I just think it's so fun when it happens like that.
That is so amazing, Lisa. And I think I might be jumping ahead, so let me know if I am. But now my mind's going, well, like, okay, today, especially with myself, we'll come back to this, but I am, really curious how this translates to the online world.
Yes. I would love to share this when we come back.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OmTimes Radio. IOM FM. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OmTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OmTimes endeavor. Host your show with OmTimes Radio Network.
When you wake up in the morning, are you excited for the new day? Are you passionate about your work? Are your relationships fulfilling? And finally, are you happy? I'm Mia Voce, your host and guide to the power of 5. Harness the forces of the universe and unleash your powers within. Join me each Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on OmTimes Radio. And remember, anything is possible. You only just have to believe.
A social distancing tip.
Putting distance between yourself and others is critical to slowing the spread of coronavirus. So here are ways to stay in contact without the physical contact part. Call, send a text, set up a video conference, post on social media, dedicate a song on the radio. If you have symptoms of fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider before going to their office. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #alone together. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back. So I hope that you were paying a little bit more attention to the commercials and just exploring for yourself how you could also have your very own commercial. So Lisa, we were going to talk about how this translates into the online world, because I, as a spiritual business coach, love helping healers and coaches bring their business online. And so if they were to have a commercial, I love that it could possibly create this connection that feels super intimate, even though we might be halfway across the world.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of online. I love this. Like right now, you and I are in totally different parts, and the station's in different parts. And here we are all listening to something that we can access. And I think that bringing commercials into the online world is, first of all, we can use them for many things. And I just like to highlight, commercial is not just like a selling thing. It's an announcement. It's an announcement of something that is happening, and it could be a commercial, like an announcement to gather at a certain time to hold meditations over water. It could be to get training, So it's not just like I'm having a commercial because I'm selling something. It could be a grand opening. It could be so because the online world just spans, there's just no boundaries. Having that commercial online reaching an audience that's global is kind of key. It just because there's a feel to it, and you still get them. There's a music to it. There's a bounce to it. There's an audio. There's a feeling. So if that's where you're kind of going with it, like the bringing your business online as opposed to just a local kind of thing, like super local, it's such an expansive way.
Oh, that's so amazing. And so, yeah, I absolutely agree. It's that expansiveness. And I want to jump into the science of things. You had mentioned it a couple times. Tell us about the science of a commercial.
The science. Okay. I call it the science. There's two parts that I love about with commercials. There's creating the commercial, really distilling the message that you want to get out in a very short, succinct time. And I'm being so transparent here. I have really messed up commercials. Oh my gosh, I wanted to squeeze in so much that I remember my first commercial. It wasn't a disaster because, it still was good. It turned into like an infomercial. It was 90 seconds. This is not an appropriate commercial time length, by the way. But what I kind of got away with it was I was playing around with it, and I have to say it had some awesome music. Like I still listen to just the music and kind of dance to it. So I thought, okay, important component. If you have music, make sure it's good. And 90 seconds really was too long. I was really trying to squeeze a lot in. So I've come far away from there. And even 60 seconds is kind of pushing unless you really hold that listener's attention. And so it's kind of like the science of even creating that commercial is like finding the most interesting, captivating, important, life-changing thing, like a scenario maybe, or a shocking, I want to say, like your ears really get perked up. Like you've got to catch their attention like in seconds, like literally 2 seconds. And the science of that commercial is to really have them have an emotional shift. And what's really fun for a business to do, a solopreneur, taking your craft or your message, and you get really close with it when you even just write your commercial or you have somebody write it with you or for you, because that person has to extract it from you. What's the most important thing about this message? Like a commercial really means, I feel like a commercial says, I've got 30 seconds to tell you how important this is, and it could be in your life, and why it's important to do this now, because a commercial is time sensitive, right? It does let you know that, yes, this business, this person exists, and they probably exist, hopefully, for the duration, for the long term. But there's something going on right now that could affect your life in a profound way. And maybe it's information that needs to be shared. Maybe it's a solution that can be shown up. But right now we're talking about with like yourself. And because it's so close to an entrepreneur's heart or, a healer's heart, who they align with, where they advertise will make or break really that business, because there's something that happens between the commercially, I don't know if that's a word, the person having a commercial. Yeah, I'm creating that word. And then the person holding that space. So looking at, let's take your show, for instance. You have space. It's real estate. It's land, let's say. And if I want to put my sign on your land, there's got to be a couple things. I've got to love your land. I've got to know that I feel good when I go to your land. And I have to know that I like your people. I like who you invite to your land. And just even having that starts it with a beautiful frequency. It already is successful. It no matter if one person heard it or a million people hear it, it already feels good. And that vibration is what carries it. And same if you flip that around. You would have to feel good making sure that you knew that whoever's going to put your sign, that you like the sign. You like the words. They feel good. Because the more you feel good about the sign on your land, you'll tell people more about it. You'll talk about it more effortlessly and not in a salesy way.
Absolutely. I'm so excited about it. Well, I'm really thinking about, even in an everyday conversation with my friends, somebody might make a recommendation to, let's say, a restaurant, or a recommendation to a new workshop that's coming up or that has a new method that I've never heard of before. And that's kind of like a commercial in an everyday conversation. And it doesn't feel pitchy or salesy at all. It's like, oh, you're excited about it. I'm excited about you being excited about it. I got to check this out. Like, you're sharing with me how it's transformed your life. And so I feel like a commercial is very much about having people know what opportunities are available to them and seeing if it's a fit for them, if they're somehow feeling like perked up and called because of the commercial and what it's presenting. What an amazing opportunity.
I love that. You reminded me, because I love that you said a recommendation. A recommendation isn't like a closed sale. It's the first step. It's like, did you know? Did you hear? Do you know about this? And it's, or it's an expression of, I love this so much. I want to share it with you. I love this thing so much. And it was so fun, helpful, tasty, like all the things that I want. So it's the first step. It's an introduction. It's like matchmaking, right? You're like a matchmaker, and you're going, oh, I think you're going to be in love with this. And what it does is, having a commercial or hearing a commercial really says, tell me more. This is really cool. I want to know more. So in a commercial, very important that you direct them. What is the next step? Go here, ask about this, find out more. And so it's so interesting that we have to hear commercials multiple times. And I love that because our lives they flicker in and out every day. Like, we have the basics, the similarities. Like, we all get up every morning, have a morning routine, do our thing. But some days we come across challenges. They're new. They're new every day. So maybe I didn't have a challenge. Okay, I'm going to take shaving my legs again. Sorry. Like, maybe 4 days ago, I didn't need to shave my legs. So I wouldn't have paid attention to a razor commercial, right? But now I'm like, oh, so this is why airplay is really important. It's so interesting when people try to say, okay, I just need a commercial and I only want to play it once or 10 times is enough. Oh my gosh, we need to hear it so many times because our needs change, our interests change, we grow. So having airplay, and I know I jumped into airplay suddenly, it's not just about I need 20 times or I need 100 times. It's about continuing to be in the presence of your people who might need you at different times.
Right. And isn't that just exactly what we need is the reminders? I like how you said it earlier. Commercials like a reminder, either a reminder or I also see it as a presentation for an opportunity that you may not know about yet. And so, Lisa, I'm really curious in designing a commercial. So I find, when I'm watching television, I actually don't watch that much TV, but when I did, the commercials that would pull me in were the ones that were stories. I'm thinking about Mothers of Drunk Driving, right? The dramatic stories, or even the Tim Hortons commercials where it's all warm and fuzzy, and it's a moment that you're connected with your grandma or grandpa going to Tim Hortons. So I'm really curious, when it comes to an airplay commercial, what's important? Is it the story that's important? How do we hook people in?
It's so interesting because you're right. It's audio. And so any kind of music, the tone of the person's voice, whether it's male, whether it's female, there's an immediate emotional, we picture something, right? So if I couldn't even understand the language, but I just heard somebody's voice, if it's a male or female, I'm going to get if it's a certain age, if it's a certain depth, right? So that creates that connection first. It soothes something in us. So the connection is also soothing because say we're looking for something like that, you said about it's drama, right? So the commercials that draw us in, they're a little bit drama-y. We are such feeling beings, and we love to connect. We really do, whether it's with pain or with pleasure. We do like to connect, and we have this empathy, and we care about the end of the story. We don't want to be left with a cliffhanger. You know, we're like, no, I need to know, like, so that we can have a conclusion or closure with something. And that, so I think with audio, it's more to bring somebody don't leave them hanging. So in a commercial, really have that connection, really match the, like, you have an intro at the beginning of your show. And I remember when you were doing that, like, you had to read it a couple times, you have to connect with it. The music had to, like, let's break that down. Let's call the intro to even a show a commercial. And remember when you had to choose it, just like we all do, though it could just even be one note that throws us, like, oh, we don't like that, but I really like this. It makes me feel a certain way. And that's with a commercial. You're looking for that feeling in that sound and the speed. Oh, the speed is so important. I mean, well, I've done, oh my gosh, I love doing Christmas commercials. I love Christmas, and I love Christmas commercials. It's just like magic to it. And so I want to make sure that I'm hearing the magic, just that, whatever Christmas brings. So it's important to capture when you're writing the commercial and when you're going to put it out there, that you really have that frequency, that vibration of that thing that's in there, that maybe it's a relief or a warning. I love that you use the drunk driving, because there's a warning in there letting people know, don't just not do that because it's bad and you could get hurt, but it extends, like, multiply the feeling. Like, it could hurt that person, then it'll hurt that person, and it'll hurt that person. So the story really needs to be multiplied in, like, really, what is it called? Amplified. Oh yes, because you love that word too. Yes. And it can ignite. It needs to ignite through their ears so that they can visualize what's going on and what it's going to do for them in there. Like, we have this commercial on OmTimes. There's, oh my gosh, it's all the animals, all this. I think of sea life and wildlife, or I think about or the homeless people. And I think, oh my gosh, you know what the commercials about the homeless people make me immediately remember, oh, I've got that bag of clothes that I really need to donate. Well, now I'm going to, more that I hear, I'm going to walk over to my calendar and schedule. Okay, so when I go out and do this, make sure you drop this off. It gets people to take action. And so I can't remember your question. I'm so sorry. Writing this commercial, but you want your commercial to get somebody to take action.
Yes, it's activating. It, like, stirs something up inside, and then it's like, ooh, yes, this is something that I stand behind. I got to follow through with it, or I need to check this out more. Like, what is this about? I just see it as absolutely this internal stirs, like, we are stirring for a reason. And then if the commercial really speaks, that's what I believe will happen. And if it doesn't, that wouldn't happen. There's a reason why we're stirred inside.
I love that. Actually, it's funny. I love it. I heard this saying, I think it was when Proposition 37 was coming in. So let's go to 2012 here. And I remember hearing this awesome line. It says that we vote with our dollars. And, we take we hold the value in how important it is to vote, like, to go and vote for somebody, right? But we do vote with our dollars too. And so I love that you said, is this something I want to stand behind? Is this something that is valuable to me? And there's three components to a commercial. There's the person whose commercial it is. There's the place that the commercial is being aired. And then there's the person hearing the commercial and taking action. Like, those are three very important places where we all have an opportunity to, quote unquote, vote with our dollars. And that's why investment in commercials, I think, is one. Yes, everybody knows it's important to market. We have to put the marketing dollars out there. We want to put the marketing dollars out there because I feel like the commercial, oh my gosh, now I'm so excited. I want to have a commercial again.
I love it. You're inspiring. I love this. I want to have a commercial too. This is amazing. And I certainly hope that if you're listening, you're feeling into the possibilities of having your own commercial and seeing what this can do to transform your business, to create that activation in your potential soulmate prospects and clients to come to help them know that you are the lighthouse. You are here standing in your power, here to say, I'm here to serve, I'm here to support you. And it's another way to really make that reach to people who you may not have the exposure to you because of, we'll say, proximity. And that's the beautiful thing about airplay commercials is really proximity isn't even in the equation. So when we come back, I'd like to explore the core value criteria in deciding who to promote with, advertise with, who to partner with, and who to accept if you are thinking about having commercials on your own. So,
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OmTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
OmTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organisation, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at omtimes.com. OmTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me The Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OmTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
Melissa from Michigan. I work an extra part-time job serving lunch at my child's school, but I still can't afford to put food on our table.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, loves. I hope that you were listening to these commercials that are on my podcast right now. And I was really paying attention to the last commercial and just how it really evokes a lot of emotion inside with the voices, the stories around hunger and not being able to afford their rent, and really looking at supporting world hunger. I thought that was really, really, I'm like, okay, that's one way to throw it out commercial. So Lisa, let's talk about the core value criteria. How do we decide who to promote with, where to advertise? How do we know it would be the right fit? The alignment is there.
Right. Yes. And I love this specific question because sometimes people, they get, what we don't want to do is overlook who you're aligning with and who you're partnering. You are literally partnering with somebody when you have your commercial with them. And I love thinking about that because if I've gone through, I've made some mistakes, I had to test it out. I've had either my commercial or I've allowed other people to put their commercials thinking it was right. And then I was like, oh, you know what? That didn't work out so well. And what happens when we don't align and use our core values, we don't get the results that we're looking for. We really don't. We're not calling in the right people. The clients aren't going to come. They're not. So there actually is a downside. So if we make a mistake, which it's okay, we've got to learn. But this is why it's really key, and this is going to be helpful for everybody to hear this ahead of time, to really to interview, to almost like you need to, like, I love that you said that, like people need to apply, get to know if they're a fit, and learn how the sharing, the partnership will look. And core values is where you start. And you start with core values with everything, whether it's, choosing a partner in life, like to be with, your friends, your workplace. Hold this as important as any of those would be. And so with core values, one thing for me, you have your show, Rosalind, and it's everything you believe and stand for is woven all throughout every single one of your episodes. And people, your audience, shares those beliefs. They share that interest. They share those values. So maybe it's the language that you use. Maybe it's the tone. It's the excitement. It's the low level. Like there's so many people that have different speeds of which they speak, and some people like it, some people don't. It's the pitch. So that's an undertone that you've already set that up, and you want a person who has a commercial, it doesn't have to be identical like a mirror, but it has to match. The core values have to match. I wouldn't have, and I can just say this, I wouldn't have like a fast food restaurant commercial be on there that uses hormones, their animals or something, like, you know what I mean? Like it really has to like right down to my beliefs, my basic beliefs. That's what the core value is. And the positive, because I'm sounding really heavy on this right now, but I am trying to, state how important this is because when you do have aligned core values, when those core values, it's like it sells itself. The commercial, it's like a glass slipper on Cinderella's foot. It literally is just part of the outfit. It just has to go. And there's magic, and people, it seems like seamless that you would go into a commercial. It's not, here's a point that anybody can take right away. If you're watching something and a commercial comes in, or you're listening to something and a commercial comes in, and you are irritated by it, you hate it, you're bothered by it, that wasn't a good fit. And so now I'm gonna ask all the listeners to kind of perk their ears up. Like sometimes I'm really, I'll be watching a YouTube video, let's say, and they have a commercial come up. I often spend more time now, like say I was watching a half-hour show, but the commercials came on, but they were so in alignment that I actually spend more time now with all the other commercials and checking out their little ads and everything than I was on the first place.
That is so true. You can even think about when we watch movie previews at a movie theater, right? And all of those movies, of course, going to be targeting the same audience of that movie genre that they are here to watch. So that absolutely makes sense. And you're right. Like the commercial sells for itself as if the core values of in this case, podcast show matches with the values of the business that's throwing out the airplay commercial.
Yeah. And also too, it makes the loudspeaker, like, you know what I mean? Like it's like you'll talk about them more because it's just effortless. And I'm just speaking for myself. I know that people have advertised with me. They put a commercial on, but I am just talking about that commercial when it plays, when it comes back. Now I'm talking about, so they're getting extra, like almost like a sponsorship kind of thing, or I'm bringing it up because once a commercial is created, here's the fun part. Once a commercial is created, that's 20% of its efforts, let's say, right? The first time it's created out there. 80% is to come. 80% is that commercial. Somebody may hear that 3 years from now, and you'll get business from it. I have looked up articles that I've like it's like when you publish an article, or you have a post, or you repost a Facebook post or something. It's almost like it's timeless. It is you'll get 80% more revenue, like generated income or leads, like after. It's like, so the creation of it is just getting the ball rolling, and just in its manifestation, and it's putting it into this 3D world in audio form. Then it kind of just, now it has somebody has something tangible that they can talk about more. It's like it just grows it multiplies it. I was loving this part.
I see it as a vision of a garden. It's like you're planting the seeds. And that's where the seeds are, being watered through this podcast. They're being nurtured, and then it's being loved on, right? Those who also love their plants and flowers and say good morning and kiss them. That's something relatively new for me in the last few months. I say hello to all my plants, and I feel into their energy. I receive their energy. I give them back energy. It's just really, really like such a nurturing process. And I feel like that's what a commercial is like, right? It's that energetic vibration that matches, and it speaks into the souls of those who are meant to be magnetized in to that business. It's again another way to show up and say, hey, I'm here, and this is what I'm about, and this is how I can change your life. So yeah, I really see it as just such a beautiful cultivating opportunity.
And I just want to say this really quickly. If somebody's thinking that like commercials are so fun, two things about commercials. Like right now you have a whole podcast because you're able to, you want to, you like to. Maybe somebody doesn't want a whole podcast. They don't know, but it's a way of a 30-second podcast. It's a 30-second little, like, get me out there. And the other thing is too, is just a little quick homework. If anybody, just as a growth experience yourself, you don't even have to have a commercial, but what would your commercial be for you, yourself? What do you express? Like every day you might have a different commercial, but think about it. Like when you wake up, what is the commercial I'm putting out there in my existence today? And if you don't like that commercial and you're not aligned and it's not your core value, you got to rewrite that script. It's time to change that commercial. So I just fun little things to think about. So everybody can just like, what's my commercial today?
And what would the music be? I thought that would be so exciting. Like when I was choosing my intro, outro music, I'm like, okay, what's my music going to be? And it was quite a process. And when we found it, I was literally having soulgasms. We were literally jamming. I'm like, oh my God, this is so me, right? And so I'm going to also add into that homework, what would your commercial music be? And are you vibrating at that level, right? So like, are we congruent? Are we aligned? So that's a fun homework. Thank you so much, Lisa.
It is. And by the way, everybody, and Rosalind, mine is ragtime music. I love like bouncy piano. So there's mine.
You guys listening, you could probably I'm not surprised. You know how bouncy Lisa's energy is. It's just so much fun. So I'm going to lead you into a guided meditation with a light language activation in the next few moments here, where we're going to have you reflect on the homework question that Lisa just delivered. What would your commercial say? What would it be about? And who would be aligned? What platforms would be aligned to have you have a commercial on? So let's start to take yourself inward, feeling into your heart space, just taking a breath in there, and remembering your purpose, remembering your reason for your mission, your soul mission that is expressed in your business. This deep desire to transform as many lives as you can through your business. Feel into this desire. The deep desire you have for impact, for influence, to attract your soulmate, clients, customers, tribe, to have them be so loyal to your brand because they too believe in your mission. Feel into that. Feeling into the sensations. And then just notice what music comes in right now? What song? What melody? What tune? And if you're like me, you might be following the impulses of jam to your tune or sway. So go ahead and do that. And then just notice what kind of platforms would be so blessed to have you on as a commercial. See what arises. It may just be an idea, a type of platform. And even if your head doesn't have the answers, feel into it with your heart. Feel into that vibration because your heart and your soul already know. So if you feel into this, I'm just going to activate this with a light language transmission. Karatikia, barakaratua, barakaratia, barakaratua, barakaratua, kia, barakakwa. Karatia, barakaratia, barakaratua, barakia, karatua, clearing any block of I don't know, clearing any blocks. Aligning with ideas, with the frequency, with the energy of where your business needs to be, what platform, who to introduce your business to a new tribe. That needs to hear your message, that needs to know about your business. And activating the possibilities. So just hanging out the sensations, with your experience, with the images, the downloads, the ideas are coming forward. Seeing the vision, planting the possibilities, the seed of possibilities. And then when you're ready, just very slowly and gently find a way to complete this beautiful meditation in a way that feels anchoring, grounding. And then when you're ready, just very slowly and gently come on back out. Opening your eyes if they were closed. You might want to blink a few times. And I do encourage you to journal what came through. I do encourage you to take some time to seriously answer the homework question of if you were a commercial, what would it sound like? What music? How, what storyline? And my love, if you feel called and you feel like there's alignment to have your very own commercial, you're feeling excited about the possibilities on my very own podcast, where, let me remind you again, it is hosted originally on OmTimes Radio, which gets played 4 times a week. My episode gets played 4 times a week on OmTimes Radio. And there are 500,000 unique visitors per month. That's a lot of unique visitors. Okay, and that's not to mention that my podcast also gets blasted out to all of the podcast platforms, Apple iTunes, Breaker, Spotify, the Very Common Podcast, where your commercial is have. Please contact me at roslyn@roslynscience.com. Email me with headline commercial and let's see if worth it. I would love to introduce your business. Thank you so much, Lisa, for being here. I'll also have Lisa's information in the show notes so that you can connect with her if you're feeling called to create your own marketing. She's going to be helping you do the same in life.
Thank you so much. It's been so much fun. I'm excited to hear all of your commercials. Thank you, Roslyn.
Thank you, love.
Bye.